Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, BaHashem, YAHAWASHI, BaHashem, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to my Akim Wakwathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this power captivity. His brother Kawakub Kamiyachu with no lesson. John 8, verse 44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there was no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Now, before I forget this, I want to get this out the way, okay? Because this is a major thing in regards to this lesson I'm going to talk about, which it has something to do with the whole what's the thing called? Public school, not just public school, but school education system in general, which I did speak on it before. Now, basically what's going on, according to these teachers, all right, is that a lot of, and this is just one example, I heard multiple different other stuff, but, and also on top of that, you can actually you can literally search, anyway.
Let's go.
Okay, so, to get back into what I was talking about, as I was saying, the thing with the whole school education system, all right, was this teacher as well as many other teachers, they were basically complaining about how the school system is. And while this teacher specifically isn't complaining about the students specifically, I would like to talk about the students specifically, because this is what I've heard from several other teachers. Okay, maybe she's not as recent, or maybe she just doesn't think that it's the students' fault, which I guess maybe to a certain extent it isn't. All right, but I'm gonna say maybe not blame fully, but I'm gonna say that there is some blame that does fall upon the students, of varying ages. So basically, what happened was, as I had said before in another lesson, the kids, or the younger, newer generation, whatever the fuck you want to call it, they are copying the influencers. Okay, even if you think about the term influencers, all right, you have all these YouTubers and Twitch streamers who are acting a certain way in order to get the most views, in order to get the most attention, the most traction, the most everything. All right, as a result of that, that is what pulls in their viewers, and that's what the kids like to see. As a result of these children like watching that, they adopt that persona, they adopt that personality, and they incorporate that into their own type of into their own behavior. All right, so oftentimes you're going to get, younger children that are wild, maybe unhinged, maybe saying a whole bunch of things that they shouldn't be saying given their age. All right, as a result of them copying from these influencers. Okay, which once again, think about the term influencers. All right, so which is why I'm over here, and this is a major thing where I brought this precept out first, because they are adopting a new doctrine, adopting a new belief, adopting a new all that stuff, simply because they are being influenced by their surroundings. Okay, so yes, this is a big thing that I take very seriously in terms of addressing it. All right, and as well as addressing it, I also thank the Lord that I do not have children yet, which, okay, maybe down the line eventually, but overall, this is something that I fear for, and this is something that I pray to the Lord, this is one of the reasons why I pray that the Lord, delivers us sooner rather than later. Now, continuing on, as I was saying, is there a thing paused? Okay, Slakia. As I was saying, I want to let some of this video play so you can hear. I'm not going to let the whole thing play, but you can hear some of it, and I think this is in Slovakia. Okay, let me close some stuff out. Bear with me. Yes, it is. Okay, so let's let the video play.
First, let me say this. The public school system is a complete mess. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The lack of resources, administrative pressures, and the emotional toll that it takes on teachers is overwhelming. I mean, I've had colleagues come to my classroom and break down in tears, completely drained because they felt unsupported. We had a first-year pre-K teacher. Her assistant quit 1 week into the school year, and she had no consistent help or no modeling, and was basically left to her own devices with 15 4-year-olds. Some days the admin sent in the in-school suspension monitor to help her, and he was huge, like Arnold Schwarzenegger from kindergarten up, but he was not trained to work with toddlers. On my planning periods, I went down the hall to check on her and help her out because she was barely holding on. And this is not uncommon. I mean, between the laundry list of responsibilities, piles of paperwork, and having to fight for the most basic supplies, teachers are on the struggle bus. And all the while, we're supposed to be inspiring and educating the next generation. Newsflash, the system is broken, y'all. And the real problem isn't even money. It's about the value that society places on education. When you consistently underfund and undervalue something as vital as education, you get the results that we're seeing today. It's the way that we approach education in this country. It's outdated, and we're not teaching the skills needed for 21st century jobs. This is not a quick...
Okay, yes. Now, this was another major thing that I actually heavily agree with her in her grievances. Okay, the current generation does not value education in the same sense as we do before, because all they see is, they see these big YouTubers, Twitch streamers, all this stuff. They just did that, so I can just go do that. I don't need to go learn and stuff. Whatever fucking YouTuber, he's dumb as shit, and he made it. He's rich, he has money, he's doing all this stuff. Okay, when it's like very clearly Esau is okay with that, as well as he wants the current generation to be dumb in order for them to be more easily fooled and manipulated into stuff, as per the whole C9V. Okay, that was a very big example of that, given how so many people were basically dying behind taking it. There were so many people that was trying to convince people to continue to take it and say, this is the best thing, we need to go do it, X, Y, and Z, blah 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 blah, when in actuality, the actual educated people, the actual people that were smarter than whatever, okay, did enough research, had enough, and as well as had enough common sense to to not take it. But yet again, you have this main thing where a lot of people, they are easily fooled, they're easily led astray, as well as they see they see an influencer. Once again, going back to the term influencer, they see an influencer doing something, and even if said influencer does not want to be a role model or does not want to influence people's decisions, they are still influencing their decisions, because these people are stating their business, saying their business out in a lot of them are stating their business, saying their private lives, what they're doing, and how they're facing certain issues. And they're saying, like, when for example, with the C9V, when they say, I got this, so I have to go get the thing, I went to go do that, and next, this, and the third. So the masses of people are hearing these people say that, and they're thinking, okay, so this is safe to do. I can go do this. I should go do this because my favorite YouTuber or whatever went and did it, so I should go and do it too. But yet, my fucking nose is killing me. But yet, those exact same people that they're copying, those influencers, they themselves tend to be not as educated. Okay, they're just following after whatever what's the word, trend that is being presented to them, in the moment, in order to stay relevant, in order to stay beloved by the masses of people that get that fuel fill their pockets, fill their pockets. Now, continuing on, Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1, woe to them that decree unrighteous decree and that write grievousness which they prescribe. And the unrighteous decree in question is really not necessarily a decree, but there's a as she had pointed out, there's a lack of a of a care towards people's own education, whereas people are just really following along with whoever or whatever the biggest influence is pushing people that way. All right. Now also 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Shit. Okay, and then this is another aspect of it where the devil is, as a matter of fact, there was this is literal public information. Okay, so I'm not making this shit up and I'm not saying anything, but let me show you this thing. Okay, it was there was a popular Twitch streamer who was basically called and talked to about during Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. All right, and he was basically he basically had a breakdown or whatever, screaming and shit, saying how he does not know politics and he does not want to get involved with this stuff and whatnot. I'm trying to find if they have the actual clip. All right. Hold on. Okay, yeah, here it is. Of course it's a restricted video. Bear with me one moment.
The niggas care about what Kai Cenat had to talk about for politics.
Last night, Kai Cenat was on stream and went off on the understand stream. If he ever did do air to bring her on stream, do you guys think this?
Kai keeps receiving calls from the Secret Service, and he is not having it.
I got the Secret Service calling me 5 times!
After Aiden Ross and Donald Trump broke kick with their stream, all of the other politicians wanted Kai to get involved. So, Kai, what you think?
What the is Kai Cenat gonna talk about with politics? I've never did anything with politics.
But if that does somehow happen, he'll at least keep it a stack with us.
Mark my words. I'ma say it right now. If there's some way, somehow, something was to go into where I do the stream of politics, I'm going to be 100% honest.
And it's not even someone specific either.
It's not even a particular person.
Okay, yeah, basically you heard all that. So they were trying again, and this is basically more proof that they're trying to, use these people to, they see that a lot of people are watching them, that a lot of people are not relating, but what's it called? Influenced by them. All right. So they want to use these people as tools, as puppeteers or whatever, to, push their agenda, their narrative, their whatever. Okay. So that's why they were calling him multiple times. Hey, come over here. You should help us in this, that, and third, whatever. Because they saw Aiden Ross with Donald Trump and whatnot. So they want to get Kai Cenat, because I think Kai is one of the most subscribed or the most watched Twitch streamers on the platform. So as a result of that, yeah, this is a big thing. But apparently, clearly, he didn't want to do it, and I actually don't think that he actually did do it. If he did do it, I'm pretty sure I would have heard about it. But I don't think that he did. I don't think that he did it at the end of the day. So basically, yeah, that was some stuff. That was what was going on, and it also goes to show how they're trying to, use the stuff that relates to people the most. That how to influence people, and you go through their things. Like, of course, like say for example, Slocky, he might have been offered, hey, we'll give you $1 million, we'll give you whatever X amount of money in order to, just have what's her face on her stream in order to, and you just agree with her and whatnot, okay? Just support Kamala Harris, make Kamala Harris look good, X, Y, and Z, and then he might have gotten paid, but the thing might be, and again, I don't know what happened. I don't know why he was rejecting. I don't know why he was mad, but it might just be that, okay, well, because he has money, because he's in a position to reject their money, he's just saying, okay, you know what? I don't feel comfortable. I don't want to do it. All right. So that's a part of the thing, and not necessarily a part of Esau's devices, as well as Esau's ways that he tries to manipulate people and manipulate certain stuff. All right, continuing on, Isaiah chapter 3 verse 12, as for my people, children are their oppressors and women rule over them. O my people, they which lay thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths. And we're going to be focusing over here on this. Children are their oppressors. Obviously the whole thing is applicable, but not applicable in terms of the entirety of the lesson, but not lesson, the entirety of the prophecy. But I want to go specifically into this in terms of the stuff that I heard specifically with students, being a whole bunch of demons and fighting back, fighting the teachers, giving the teachers a hard time, saying F you, you're not my mom, you're not my dad, you're not this, that, and the third, and whatnot, and being problematic. Okay, this was a big thing where these teachers are not able to discipline them, and even when it comes to actual discipline, nothing is actually done, which is a far cry to how what things was when I went to school. When I went to school, obviously there was some students that would go and act out and whatnot, or be disruptive, but there would always be there would be consequences, like, okay, well, then you're gonna get kicked out of the school, or you're going to the principal's office and the principal would actually do this, or you would be in timeout. And and I'll say most of the times, or basically through my experience, all the time that in my experience, from what I've seen, obviously it's not a one-to-one thing, but through what I've seen, all the students, even the most disruptive students, they've always respected the authority and been like, okay, you know what, yeah, I did something wrong, so even though I'm not gonna learn my lesson, I'm gonna go and take the punishment. I'm gonna go sit in the corner, I'm gonna go to the principal's office, whatever, or they're just not going to go to school. And then also the parents would also get involved, and then the parents would have to say, okay, we're sorry for our kids' things, and they would at the very least, the parents would take accountability for the misbehavior of the students. Okay, so yeah, it wasn't just I'm gonna get away with everything, I'm gonna do whatever I want, I'm gonna this, that, and the third. And what the fuck is that? Slovakia. Or I'm gonna get away with whatever the hell I want, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want. No, they would actually have consequences, and there would actually be consequences, and the students wouldn't just get away with it. And basically, according to what some of these teachers have said, these modern teachers have said, is that when a student gets in trouble, they just get sent to the principal's office for 5 minutes, and the principal sends them back to the class, and then nothing gets done, and the student just keeps on doing the exact same thing over and over again, which again, that's not any consequences, and it's setting a bad example for the future, because the kids are not learning, or the students, whatever, are not learning about consequences for your actions, because all the laws and rules and regulation prevent any actual punishment from happening to the students, but all the punishment can come onto the teachers. Like if the teachers get any loud or whatever and stuff like that. And then of course, you know, there's the actual physical discipline, which obviously they can't do that. They won't, and I assume that they wouldn't. Okay, but you know, even then, like say for example, if a student got up and punched a teacher, then I'm pretty sure even if the teacher punched back, I think, to the best of my memory, I could be wrong on this, I think the teacher will still get in trouble because the student is a minor. But I don't know about that, and you can search that up on your own. To continue on, so yes, that's where we have this. Next, Proverbs chapter 29 verse 2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And you know, this goes to show just how if the righteous were in authority, if Yahawashi, you know, was in rulership, making things right, he would put a decree, make some sort of thing to the point where obviously he wouldn't allow any type of abuse to go on, but he would make it so that, you know, the teachers and the students would get what they need in accordance. And also on top of that, a lot of these students are actually dumb. They're not smart enough to read and write. Okay, they read several grade levels below what they're actually in, because now in modern schooling or whatever the fuck it's called, they just pass the student no matter what. Even if the student has 0 on literally all across the board, that student will still get passed as per what they said in the in a previous lesson that I did. Continuing on with this, these were from teachers. Continuing on, Isaiah chapter 30 verse, I think it's verse 10, verse Isaiah chapter 30 verse 12, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because he despised his word and trusts in the oppression and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, who is breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. Okay, so that's basically the thing where that's basically it, where you have so many people that trust in oppression, that trust in this society, that they don't think that, you know what, maybe this isn't the way to live, and maybe it's time to, as you know, there are some people obviously that are speaking out against it, but once again, it's still trusting in oppression, because this whole entire kingdom, this entire society is wrong, it's wicked, and the Lord needs to return. So with that, I praise us, most edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah, Hashem, Yahawashi, Hashem, Rakwak Wadash, double honor to the elders, apostles, great millstone, abad, and shalom.